Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Sulk stream. I'm your host, the Incredible Sulk, and I hope you guys are having a great day. Had a great weekend. Stuck it out. Had a good Father's Day. For those of you that are fathers, that's important. Of course. It's like a second Mother's Day because, we still have to do, you buy gifts and then you go out to dinner and stuff like that, but you're still the one paying for that. So it's still just Mother's Day. It's just another Mother's Day. And if it's a single mom, oh boy, it's extra Mother's Day. Because there's no way they're going to miss out on that because they work twice as hard because they couldn't make a relationship last, so they need to celebrate that twice. Really got dark right off the right off the gun. Just got real dark with that. Maybe that's going to be a little bit of a prelude of what tonight's show is going to be about. We're talking about dating tonight, how dating is over, and how the entire market has just been commoditized and, used for profit and attention, and a lot of it's the boomers' fault. We're gonna go ahead and kick it off right there. A lot of it is the boomers' fault, not exclusively, but definitely a large portion of it is the boomers' fault, and we're going to be talking about that tonight, along with OnlyFans and internet porn and the eventual replacement of women with robots. These are all things that are coming down the line. OnlyFans is here, and it's so funny to throw away your dignity for the price of a cheeseburger and then not get that cheeseburger. Make absolutely nothing. You spread your cooter online so everybody knows, and you make nothing. That is just so good. It's really gotta humble some bitches. But it's so good to see. Obviously it's terrible. It's sad because then she'll never get a quality man or even a decent job after that. Good? Is that what I have to say? Good? There has to be consequences. We don't live in a sans consequence world, even though women would like to think that, but no. We don't. Unfortunately so for all of us, right? You will be branded a pariah for the rest of your days because you wanted to make easy money right out of high school. Well, it's not so easy, is it? And we're going to be talking about a lot of other things too. So, please, welcome. I'm glad you guys are here. I'm glad you guys are still alive, those of you that survived the weekend. And please, God, I hope nobody died because that would be very dark. I'm glad you guys are here. And, yeah. Get comfy. Get cozy. The cat's here. She's doing that. She's getting right cozy. She's getting right in her spot. That's where she needs to be. Right? And then she's going to pop into the chat later, I'm sure, and probably beg for food somehow and go meow. It doesn't matter. I'm done talking about my cat. We're here to talk about other people's cats. If you're working, please continue to work, and thank you for having me in your ear. Remember, do not play me aloud around your coworkers or around the public, because they will not understand. It gets, just don't do that. That's a lot of questions you have to answer. That's a lot of questions. If you are driving, please drive safely. I would very much appreciate that, because you are my little colt, and I love you, right? So buckle up. Don't drink and drive. Get home safely. This is important to me. Except for you, Knobs dog. Do whatever you want. I'm kidding, Knob. Be safe. Anyways, yeah. Again, happy Father's Day to the fathers out there. I'm the Incredible Sulk. This is the Sulk Stream. And this is called Boomers Kill Dating. Take 2. Boomers kill dating, but they didn't do it alone. The tragic timeline of the dating collapse. Enjoy. That only took me 2 takes to read the fucking
responsible
title.
For what we're going
to read the fucking title. It took 2 takes.
Through today, even when it comes to dating. But vague isn't good enough. We need to know exactly what went wrong and where, if we want any hope of undoing it.
We need solid intel.
Because without that, we're just gonna make it worse.
I'm gonna look like a fool!
So last time in this series, we looked at how industrialization
Let's see
and
who
the
we
occult
got.
or
Onius, hello. Me, I put a thing in there. Despite Bamonki. Background noise, yes.
origins
Welcome.
of feminism had their influence. Today, we're moving ahead
Jake from State Farm was white. I don't know where that came from, but okay.
to see what ruled boomers and
they blackified him, right? He was right. Jake from State Farm was white, and then they made him black, didn't they? And now he's multi. Is he mulatto? No, he's just black. There's some white in there. If I'm thinking of the right guy, there's some white in there. Maybe not his parents, but definitely maybe his grandparents. I don't know. I mean, it'll dilute. But we're not talking about Jake from State Farm.
Gen X played in shaping.
But we could talk about Jake from State Farm. We could pivot the show if you guys just want to talk about like Flo from Progressive, or Jake from State Farm, or maybe the caveman from Geico, or that lizard guy. I heard that lizard guy used to be like a heroin addict, like a real hard heroin addict. And he was like sucking gecko dicks for like blow, until one day this insurance guy was all like, "Hey, I got a job for you." Yep. He saved 15%.
Current dating meta. Now, to understand
that's how he did it, right? He was all like, "Do you want me to suck your dick? It's 15% off." And then some insurance guy was like, "What? What? That's perfect. That's perfect. Gecko, you're coming with me. You're coming with me." And they took him off the streets, and they gave him some hot soup, right? Gave him hot soup. And they're all like, "You're going to sell insurance now." And he's like, "Okay." I don't do impressions, but he's British.
We need to look at their parents and the environment they grew up in first. So let's head back to the start of the modern era.
You want me to go on a tangent? I'll go on a tangent. And it will make no sense to anybody. And then people, you'll be at work, like changing somebody's light bulbs or something like that. The light bulb technician. And then you'll have me in your pocket. And then like the housewife will like walk by. And she'll be like, "What the fuck is this guy talking about?" And then she'll suck your dick. That's the Sulk Stream. That's what the Sulk Stream does for people.
Era. This is the exact
Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
opposite of the harsh, terrifying pre-modern world where we started our journey. Because after the war, things are great. This might even be the best time to be alive, ever. Certainly the best time to be dating. Remember, throughout history, only about 40% of men had the chance to procreate. Now it's something more.
40%? I thought it was 20% throughout history, which would make more sense because of the entire, I think it's called the Pareto distribution, where, 20% of the men get 80% of the females. It could be 40. I have no idea.
Or like 90%. Marriage and long-term relationship rates are at some of the highest levels ever, which makes sense.
There's people reproducing. Okay, Look, I understand. Like back in the day, it was like, let's give it 20 to 40% of men reproduced, right? And so 20 to 40% of men were getting all the women. All right. There are some people that should not reproduce. There are some dog ass ugly people out there that I would prefer to no longer be around. To no longer be around. I don't know how their genetics got this far. Maybe they're really smart or super funny or something like that. But even then, even if they're like, I mean, there's not much else you can invent, right? There's not a joke I haven't heard before. So do we still need these people? You know, can we just have like better looking people around just because that's like pleasant? It's unpleasant seeing disgusting people. Please, you back me up on this. I know every single one of you agrees with me. Even if you're ugly yourself, even if you look at your ghastly visage in the face in the mirror every morning and you're like, "Oh my God." And then you smash it, right? You smash your mirror. And then you forget after a while and you replace your mirror and then you're like, "Oh my God." And then you do it again, right? Like some sort of weird memento kind of situation. But even you agree with me, it is much more pleasant just to look at pretty people. Pretty women, right? Even the guys, right? Like a good-looking guy is better to look at. I'm not saying I'm gay. I'm not saying you guys are gay. It's seeing an ugly person in general. It just ruins everybody's day. It just ruins everybody's day, right? You know, and like, I'm not saying everyone has to be a supermodel. I'm not saying that. I'm saying everyone has to look at least human. At least human. You know, at the bare minimum, look like a human being. Don't make me look twice at you and be like, the fuck is that thing? What is that? Don't look like an illustration from the Tracy Ullman show. You know, like old school Simpsons where you just like have a bunch of shapes and stuff and like you just don't look like a person. Don't look like that. Can you get surgery? Yeah, you can get surgery. You can fix some stuff. You can, right? A lot of people get bad luck. And I feel you. I feel you. The sad part is when there's girls. I'm going to speak specifically on women right now. The sad part is when you see a girl with good bone structure and like you can tell she would be very, very pretty if she wasn't so goddamn fat. That is always so sad to me. It's always so sad to me. And you know, she could lose the weight. Yeah, that's not really... Because once you go fat, you have permanently scarred your body. You have permanently scarred your body, and then you're going to have like loose skin and wrinkles, and people are going to... You feel it, and it's just like, oh my God, it's terrible. It's terrible, and it's sad. Even with the skin removal surgeries and everything, even with all the science they have, that is like, you can't come back from that. Specifically women. I mean, guys are a little bit more utilitarian, right? It doesn't really matter how you look as much. I mean, please look your best at all times, just out of respect for me. But it's really more about being strong, being capable. But, you know, that is what looks good on a guy. You could look like you got hit with a hot shovel, and if you're muscly, then that's good. That's all you need, basically. And also, don't be like 5'2". They have those Justin Bieber surgeries that you can get. But yeah. So, I mean, if you're willing to go through that. I mean, which would you rather live with? The pain of regrowing your legs for 2 years or living like as a 5 foot tall man for your entire life? I think it's pretty clear. I think it's pretty clear for all of us.
GIs are coming back from war, bringing all that victory.
Ellen Page person, she's like, I'm a guy now. I'm 5 foot tall and I weigh 98 pounds. I'm like, okay, tough guy. Okay, tough guy. Even with ripped six-pack abs, I can punch you through a wall. You have no idea.
Glorious optimism, masculine.
You look like a sad boy. You look like a freshman in high school, right? That's what you look like. Chicks aren't into it.
grit and drive to achieve great things with them.
Pamonkey says, I lost the weight, being a dude rules. It's totally different. It's just totally different. I feel bad for women, but not too bad because they bring a lot of it on themselves. But yeah, that's one thing guys can get away with that women kind of can't. I mean, trust me, if they go from being 200 pounds to like a regular 115 to 130 pound woman, they do look better. Honestly, they do look much better. Do you look as good as you would had you not gained the weight initially? No, of course not. Of course not. Sure, you could say that about guys too, but again, it doesn't matter because guys are, we're more about utility. As long as we can survive and lift things and open jars and kill spiders and stuff, that's what matters. That's what matters. Women are about aesthetics. I'm sorry, I did not make the rules, but I heavily enforce them.
That was how heroic these men seemed to women, and these guys have absolutely no trouble dating or finding high-quality wives. Now, that's not the only reason dating is easy for them, though. They also come back to a relatively level playing field among men, not just with masculinity, but economically as well, thanks to a massive...
Despite says, I wouldn't know. Yeah, you look pretty skinny. You look like you've always been skinny.
Wave of prosperity that was pretty evenly spread out through a healthy middle class.
At this time, you could buy a house with the average
Despite says, Elliot Page looks like my dick with a wig and fake abs. I'm just imagining a dick with abs, dude. Like you're doing crunches. Like, what the fuck, dude?
baker or milkman's salary.
That's a crazy visual, and I hate it. I hate that you put that in my head.
Laughable idea today.
So, unsurprisingly, this is also the time when the amount of single-income households reaches its...
Despite says, I just meant general build. Well, it's too late. Now I'm imagining penises doing crunches. Like, little hands. I can't get it out of my head now, right? And like Elliot is a stick figure of a person, right? I'm pretty sure my penis weighs more than her. What? That's not even, I wasn't even joking. I could crush her. Here's a question. Elliot Page, would you? Just like, what is wrong with you? It is still technically a girl, right? Would you?
Its all-time peak.
This matters because it means that most men were able to provide an equally good life for most women.
Remember, the biggest reason why only
This is true. It was easy to find a girl because everyone was making enough money to survive. Now, how many people make enough money to survive? I mean, a minority. Let's, maybe not a minority. 2/3 of men could make enough money. I don't even know the statistics. It's not like it was post World War II, where you could get a job doing anything, and then you have like a fucking 2-story house with 2 cars and like have a retirement plan, and like I can live off Social Security the rest of my life, you know, and do nothing your entire life. If you put in even the most minimal amount of effort, you would be a millionaire. Easily. This is why so many boomers are millionaires. Sure, there's a lot of broke ones, but I mean, bad luck? Or it's probably closer to stupidity, but also bad luck does happen. A lot of people thought that they could just continue to put in absolutely no effort, and then this is what life would be like forever. No.
40% of men passed on their genes was hypergamy.
Despite says, Ellen Page, yes. Elliot, no. It's the same person. It is the same person. Right? Now she just has abs and stuff and like pretends she's a guy. Have you ever seen a chick do like, she injects a bunch of testosterone and like grows a beard and stuff like that, and then she pretends to be masculine? It is the most cringy thing I have ever seen in my life. It is hilarious because they'll like turn a chair around, right? And then like talk and then, have this weird, like this showy machismo that normal men do not do because we're not trying to show ourselves as macho. We just naturally are. So we don't need, and also they still have girl brains. There's still girl brains in there. So they're exemplifying their image of macho, right? But that's not actually, you're just playing a part. You're playing a part. It's like you're trying to be an actor. You're not actually, and it's very clear. It's very clear. Real men don't constantly sob. We're lonely too, but this is just how our lives are. That's just how it is. This is how we live. But you're lonely because you can't make best friends with a girl in the bathroom anymore. Because if you talk to a guy in the bathroom, you're going to get fucking punched. I'm just saying, right? And you still have to sit down to pee because they have not mastered that technology. No.
For their own survival, women aim up for only the best men they can get, leaving undesirable, lower status men alone. But for this generation, relative equality kept hypergamy in check. Because if you're a woman, what's the point of wasting your time
Look
being
at that fucking bird nose right there. Ugh. Get surgery, bitch.
too picky or moving up the ladder of men for a better guy,
when most of the men around you are pretty much at the same level?
no, by most accounts, people are fairly happy during this time. I mean, they didn't call it happy days. For
Monkey says Bolty was hot. I don't know who Bolty is. Here's a question. Bolt-ons? Yay or nay? And when I say bolt-ons, I mean fake breasts. Yay or nay? And I'm not saying would you prefer... I'm not saying... Okay, look. Obviously, naturals are preferred, right? But are bolt-ons an actual, like... Is it an automatic no for you? That's the question. Are fake breasts an automatic no for you? Hit the chat.
nothing. But the industrial era norm of men leaving the home for work is...
But Monkey says women were fucking butt ugly. They still are. They just kind of... There's a lot more makeup and filters. There's a lot of ugly chicks out there. But there is a thing where a lot of people think evolution is over. It's not. People are just getting like taller and smarter and better looking. That is modern evolution. Our evolutionary pressures aren't so much survival. It's more of like, who's the best looking so I have the best shot of passing my genes on. So people tend to be better looking than they were 100 years ago, 200 years ago. I bet if you went back to like the Middle Ages or something like that, like the medieval times, people were probably fucking ugly. Like the common person was pretty ugly.
starting to have a strange side effect. Because men and women can't see what the other is doing
Onia says real fake tits and facelifts are gross. I didn't say facelifts. But okay, thank you for your vote.
all day anymore, they start to resent each other. Now, this doesn't seem...
Because I'm like, they have pretty good tech behind the boob jobs these days. And you can, here's the thing. If you can spot it, it's not a good boob job. There is many, many, many boob jobs that are completely seamless. Like magic. Absolutely textbook. And now, does that change when you lay your hands on them? I mean, I imagine it would have to, right? Right? But from like a distance point of view, you look and you're like, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. Right? And then you're like, damn though. They're out there. They're out there, right? And it's probably the breast augmentation of like the stars where you have to go, because Megan Fox When she was in Transformer, what did she have, like a B cup? Now she's rocking solid D's, and they don't look bad. They don't look bad. Are they different to touch? They would have to be. They would have to be. So you're saying automatic no on Megan Fox, though? That's what you're saying. Because that is what this entails. Automatic no. She has fake breasts. It's an automatic no. Worth thinking about.
To affect men quite as much, possibly because they're too distracted by work and they just want peace and quiet. While back at home, new technologies and appliances mean women don't have anywhere near as much to do as they did back when they lived on farmsteads.
Well, yeah, because first of all, basically, the room in your house with the most technology is the kitchen, right? And that's where your wife lives. That's where my wife lives. She's got like a little cot and stuff like that. And like sometimes I'll like pull down the gates and I'll let her like run around the yard, but then I'll put her back. It's called crate training, okay? And she's fine. She's fine. She's got her water and everything. There's like a place to poop. What was I saying? Oh yeah. There's a lot of technology in the kitchen. They used to have to like wash laundry in the river and stuff like that, and like build a fire to make toast and bake anything. And so, yeah, women don't have much to do these days. They get bored. And then when women get bored, they start thinking. And when women think, it causes all kinds of problems. All kinds of problems. When women don't have enough work to like keep themselves busy, they're like, maybe I should vote. Maybe I should, get out there and see the world. And then, yeah, a bunch of problems start happening. We should really be removing technology from the kitchen. We have a dishwasher. I cut the power cord on it and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know what happened to it. Now she has to wash dishes by hand.
Especially once the kids are gone at school most of the day. That means they're bored.
And I make sure she's always got a baby. She always has to have like a baby or a toddler because she'll go crazy.
Now again, we could just leave it at that, but there's also an empathy gap.
Onia says, I've never really found her attractive anyway. That's fair. But let's say Selma Hayek. Automatic no on Selma Hayek. And come on, you cannot tell me that is fucking at 60 years old. Are you fucking kidding me? No. Are you eating child's blood or something like that? There's no way. Those are fake. Come on. Automatic no on Selma Hayek. Look, go down the line, my friend. There has been a wool pulled over your eyes. There is a lot of women that have very realistic looking breasts, but if you actually think about it, you're like, there's no way. God, gee, this is ugly. The Feminine Mystique, written by this fucking ghoul.
Widening that will have consequences for the rest of this video, so it's worth a deeper dive. Here's an example. Have you ever seen a woman get angry with her husband for
Nope.
forgetting to take out the trash when
No.
he just got home from a 60-hour work week? Well, you could easily argue this is because men and women perceive the world differently.
Onia says also no for Selma Hayek, and background noise says, I'd let her Hayek me. That means nothing. Men
see objects and concepts like cause and effect as the most real things, while women perceive emotions to be.
Here's another thing. How about this? What about like just a lift? A general lift, right? I mean, it really becomes a gray area because when you say fake breasts, bolt-ons and stuff, you automatically imagine like the big old overstuffed they look hard and they look veiny and they're bad. It's a bad job. They did a bad job. But then there's more subtle techniques, right? It's not an augmentation. It's just a lift. It's just a mommy makeover. And then you really start to hit some gray line, kind of issues. Like, where's the wall? What is you and what is the surgeon? Yeah, this is going to get blurrier and blurrier as time goes on. So I'm not saying you can't have your preferences, guys. I am not saying that one at all. At all. I'm just saying be prepared to pivot. Be prepared to pivot. Because, a 9 or 10 might walk your way one day and be like, I was actually this person 10 years ago. And then she looks gross. And then it just through the miracle of modern surgery and maybe even genetic, therapy, right? Gene editing therapies or something like that. It gets real muddy. I'm just saying. Be prepared for that. Be prepared for that. Have your preferences, of course, right? But don't discount advancing technology.
Reality. What she feels at any given moment is the most...
Despite what you've heard says Selma Hayek and Dogma, yes, please. Come on. Come on. Okay, yeah, you're not gay. All right. Even the gayest man on the planet would be like, yeah. Come on, dude. Or From Dusk Till Dawn, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Come on.
real thing.
That's not even a challenge, despite, come on.
To her. Now that can be a good thing. That sensitivity helps women to be nurturing and to build healthy communities. The downside is that also means women don't.
Onia says, I don't like tons of makeup either. It's supposed to be makeup, not face paint. Here's the problem with that. It's not the amount of makeup. It is the ability. It is the ability. Also, I mean, here's the thing. If you're starting with a good canvas, it's easier, right? It's easier. If you're pretty, if you have like not the face of a ghoul to begin with, it's easy. I mean, like, who's that bathwater chick? Who's the one that sells her bathwater? You ever see her without makeup? She ain't great. She ain't great. But when she puts on makeup and it makes everything, look good, then she actually gets pretty acceptable. This is the thing. It's not the amount of makeup. It is the skill involved. But that is also something, right? If you are talented with dressing yourself and putting on makeup, that is worthy. That is worthy, right? But come on, don't be a fucking dog. When you get home, don't like peel off your face and stuff like, right? Like it's another person pulling out of it. And you just throw a skin suit into the laundry pile. It's like a fucking, some sort of witch or something like that, dude. Don't do that. Don't be that person. Hey, what's up, Arden? I hope you're having a good time on your trip. Where'd you, he donated, so I'm going to give him the bell. Where'd you go again? There's a bell. $20. Thank you so much, bro. Made $1,500 on an hour on craft today, spreading the love. I'm going to assume you went to Vegas. Sick, bro. Love that. Love that for you. Love that for me too. Thank you.
Care as much about abstractions. Now, this is a problem because now that men leave to go to work, all his effort is...
King of all pixels says, ew, Jesus, John. What? Come on, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You've seen the videos on the internet, right? Where it's like some Chinese girl and she looks like, I don't know, I don't even know what to say. She looks terrible, right? She looks terrible. Like the chin's all back and like the nose is like a weird, and then she's got pock marks on her face and stuff like that. And then she spends the next 3.5 hours putting on makeup and she is a different person with literal prosthetics where like she's got a fake fucking nose that she pulls off afterwards and like cheekbones that were not there before. At what point is this a disguise? Makeup is about accentuating, right? Just a little bit of blush here, a little bit of eyeliner, maybe make sure the eyebrows are on fleek, as they say, or as they did say. I don't know if they still do. But it's about accentuation. When did we get to the point where it is a fucking disguise? Where you are you could rob a bank and then rub your face and they would be like, hey, did you see a pretty girl get away? And you'd be like, no, I'm just an old lady. Right? Right? The perfect crime. The cops aren't even going to want to look at you very long because you're so ghastly. Ugh.
An abstraction to her, so she can't feel anything about it, which means it's not a part of her perceived reality. That makes it a struggle for her to feel any empathy for his exhaustion or appreciation for his effort. What she can see are her own efforts.
So he's explaining the difference between women and men. Well, women don't understand that when a guy is gone all day, he's actually at work trying to make money. She thinks he's out enjoying his time and stuff, and like thinking like she's sitting in her fucking living room with a bunch of stuff she doesn't have to do, so she could just watch TV. And it makes her mad that her husband is out there having a good time because she's kind of bored. There's no connection to reality. You can't do anything about this. You can't. You can cut the power on her dishwasher. Works for me. I mean, the laundry machine has to stay. I need fresh clothes, right? But you can do the dishes yourself. You can do the dishes yourself. Yeah. I mean, we don't even need a microwave.
She feels like she's done a lot of stuff while he hasn't done much of anything around here, which of course makes her frustrated. All this boredom and bitterness creates a rising swell of...
Okay, Aeneas, what'd you give me? It says this plus plus plus. Okay. Oh my God. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is a shame. This is an abomination, dude. Because imagine going out on a date with this chick. Like a blind date, right? And then, by the way, never go out on blind dates. That girls set up, which is all blind dates. Because they're always going to be like, oh, I have a friend who's really pretty. Nope, never pretty. I've seen Jess call girls pretty that were absolute dog meat. And Jess is pretty. Because I have eyes. But women, they stick together, right? They look out for each other. And you can't trust in any of them. They're all liars. They're all liars. They're all liars. Here's the thing. They don't even fucking know it. They're liars, but they don't know it. That's what blows my mind. That's what blows my mind. Is women are all liars and they have no idea. It's amazing. It's a weird phenomenon that happens in the female psyche where they're going to like back up their fellow females. You'll see it online all the time and be like, oh, she looks cute. Oh, she looks cute. But you show it to a man and the man will be like, she is dirt. That is gross. Did you find that thing growing in some motel shower? That's disgusting. Women, there is some underlying psychology. And I think it's that they empathize very well. They put themselves into the shoes of others. And so they don't want other women calling them disgusting. So, yeah. But if they send you out on a date with their pretty friend, you're going to sit down next to a rhinoceros. And it'll have the nose and the fucking 600 pounds and all of that. So never, ever do that. Never do that. Don't trust them. Oh, wrong one. God, this is horrid. That's horrible. That should be illegal, right? How do you get into your app? How do you get into your phone? right? Because I look at my phone and it opens right up for me. What is your phone is like, this is not, who is this? The person that owns me the phone is this like troll on the left. Who is this person? Did you steal her phone? It's not the same person. You would fool facial recognition. A robot designed to recognize people. How is this not a disguise? We're not allowed to wear disguises around. That made me angry. Thank you, Oni. That made me angry. Thank you for making me angry. I appreciate that, bro.
Resentment that can't stay bottled up forever.
Back to relationships. Emotions, like romantic feelings, aren't the sole purpose of relationships yet. But
People do now choose relationships based almost entirely on how.
So it says on my Rumble, it says there's 60 people watching, but on my Rumble channel it says there's 20, and then on YouTube there's 2. So I imagine the rest are on X. You guys probably didn't need to hear that, but that's probably what's going on.
How they feel.
Now, this isn't causing any problems at the moment, but it will
So
in the
okay to be Christian says, new phone, who dis?
future, thanks in large part to our
New face. Who are you? Who are you? Yeah. You know, is that like, I've seen women put on makeup. I have a wife, and I see her do it, and it does take a long time. It is a process, and it looks like she enjoys it. She'll have a drink. She'll like FaceTime her friend for hours and, you know, do her makeup and stuff like that. It seems like she enjoys it. But that's a lot of work. I'm glad I'm a man. There's so many benefits to being a man. First of all, I look good as is. I am happy with what I got going just like this. I don't have to spend hours putting makeup on. Thank God, dude. I wouldn't even do it. I wouldn't even do it. I say that because I'm a man.
our good friends, the Madmen.
They effectively
So okay to be Christian and now over on YouTube. See, I see all the comments. Because I'm on studio.
make experiencing and consuming things the entire purpose of our lives.
From here on out,
Background noise says it's spycraft bordering on witchcraft. Bordering. Yeah. I mean, spycraft bordering on witchcraft? I mean, there is all sorts of tonics and potions that go involved. Sometimes I'm like, what are you putting on now? And she's like, oh, this is just like a thing to help my skin be skin. I'm like, why are you constantly rubbing oils and shit on your face and body and all the time? Always. There's a bunch of bottles. I'm like, what is even in these things? Is that the witchcraft part? It must be. I don't know.
relationships will slowly become more and more about consuming and using humans for satisfaction rather than mutually.
All right, Despite sent a video. We'll watch your video. Despite.
Hey Joe, this guy needs help with his car. I think he came from afar, like another state. I don't know, he just points at the stars. And the way that he talks is bizarre. Right in his leg, I know. Must have make it a car. I don't know, look, it caught me off guard. Looks real strange in the dark. Look, it's here at the park. Bark! What the heck are you saying? Probably speaking some Spanglish. Oh my God, it's an alien. He's a foreigner, ain't he? No, not from Mexico, Braden. He crashed his car on the pavement. Dummy, that's a spaceship.
We found the location.
Patience, sneak in and take them. Retrieve the spaceship with no hesitations. Don't let the locals know that we survey them. Face them with force as they make altercations. Good gracious, how did they make this? Go get my tool set in some beer cases. What it's our nations, made by aliens. Like Toyota. Dummy, that's Asian.
Got him.
What the heck are you saying?
Those are government agents.
Knock it off, he's a harmless Asian.
We're preventing invasion.
Woo, stop illegal immigration. Oh, right, he's hunting for the taken.
Stand back, we're protecting the nation.
Please, you ain't no patriot. That's enough. You're men in black, okay, so what? You may have blasters, you got the ducks, but we got the tractors, we got the trucks. You dirty bastards better give up. Chasing aliens and beating them up.
Don't defy us, we're authority.
Look, it's a trailer park, we don't give up.
What? They fixed it.
What the heck are you saying? Huh?
Thank you.
Don't let them escape you. Hurry now, for they take you.
Uncle Sam, we're ready to face you.
Activate eraser.
Our memory's fading. Hey Joe, this guy needs help with his car. I think think he came from afar, like another state. I don't know, he just points at the stars. No, wait. Brayden is late. I know. What's to make it a car? I don't know. Look, it caught me off guard. Looks real strange in the dark. Look, it's here at the park.
Brayden. Yeah. I don't know, but something feels wrong. Sir, speak. I think we've been placed under a time loop. What? Something has looped time and wiped our memories.
Alert. Defense system breached.
What does that mean? Oh my god. Agent 12. What does that mean? They can see us.
Okay, sorry. I wasn't sure at the beginning, but then I got into it. Don't know what that had to do with anything at all. It had no relation to anything I was talking about. Why the fuck did you send me
Beneficial survival arrangements. Okay, moving on to the 60s.
Odia says, who was the chick back in the day that used to make 3D animations for Nightwave? This reminds me of those. No idea.
Things are changing. If you remember back in pre-modern times, people were...
Despite says, I told you, on brand. Kind of slaps. It kind of does. Yeah, it kind of does slap.
dirt poor, so they couldn't lie to themselves about how the world works. Consequences would slap you in the giblets if you did.
It's fine. It's fine. You sent that. It's just I had no idea. I mean, like, I was like, why am I watching this? And I was like, okay, yeah, all right, yeah, all right.
But now, thanks to the massive prosperity built by the men who fought World War II, their kids, the boomers, grow up in the biggest bubble of wealth the world has ever seen. Which...
The bubble of wealth, right? They had an essentially white community. The American boomers had it so good that they don't even realize how spoiled they were. Because they had no perspective on it. They just all thought they were hardworking geniuses, and that's why they built this utopian society instead of actually like plundering the future and then standing on the shoulders of other generations who laid down a lot of groundwork for basically nothing. They had no idea why they were so much richer than both the previous generation and the coming generation combined, and it was going to be like that forever. And they just have no idea what's going on. The boomers are the most clueless people I have ever seen in my life. And it still remains till today. They have no idea what's going on. None. Scott's Gen X, right? So he's pretty old. But probably early on, his life was not that hard, right? Like, what was the biggest complaint of Gen X? Meaning to life, right? Oh, I have a solid job and I can afford a place to live and stuff like that and a car. It's not as good as the previous generation of the boomers, rolling around in boats and stuff. But they're all like, what does it all mean? What does it all mean? Shut up. Just enjoy it, right? It's not till the millennials when shit actually gets pretty damn hard. And then Gen Z they're fucked. They're fucked. Generation Alpha, I have no idea what they're going to... If my kids want to live with me the rest of their lives, then I will be fine with that. I have accepted that. I don't expect them ever to get a job. I would like it if they met a girl and gave me grandkids, but I understand that when I bring kids into this world, they are my financial responsibility until at least I'm dead. At least I'm dead. I'm understanding that. I'm not going to be like 18 and you're out. Because that's not how it is. That's a boomer thing, right? Because when they were 18, it was super easy. Right? They can get a summer job and buy a brand new car. part-time summer gig, buy a brand new car. They can go and basically beg for money on the street and pay for college tuition. You could buy a house with a part-time job. It was not hard, right? So now they think it's the same for their kids, and they're like, 18 and you're out. No, man, you're just dooming them to be homeless. And please do not carry this mentality forward. It is not healthy. It's just going to doom your children to poverty, right? What they need is stability. Because that's what everybody needs. Everyone needs stability. Not like constant threats of like, this is my house, my rules. I'll kick you out whenever I want. That's not good parenting.
Allows them to believe kind of whatever they want, do whatever they want, and punt the consequences down the road to future generations. And my goodness, did they make some decisions. First, they adopt a new core belief that says that how people feel matters more than objective reality. Now, if your feelings told you the truth all the time, then this wouldn't be a problem. But they don't, because our feelings care about what they want, not what's true. And they'll tell us anything they have to get what they want. That makes this one of the most dangerous lies ever told.
Blues Doll, is that the person that makes these animations? It must be. I guess that's what I'm looking at.
And it will spawn many more lies later on. Next up, they attack their parents' traditions and chip away at the cultural norms holding society together because they see themselves as prophets who will save the world from the soulless and heartless
archetype. Oh, look at this archetype. So birth year 1883 to 1900, the lost generation. There's the nomad archetype. Then 1901 to 1924 is the hero archetype, and I assume that would be it's a GI, the greatest generation. So these are the people that went to war. Okay, hero archetype. All right, I kind of get that. 1925, 1942, the silent generation. The artist archetype. Artist. I wonder what the hell that means. And then 43 to 60, prophet. The baby boomer generation, the prophets. And then it cycles back to nomads, and then hero generation, and then artist. I'm a millennial. I'm not a hero. Am I? I think this probably refers to the social justice warriors and stuff like that. It's really more problematic when there's no kind of... But I don't know. Who knows? It's weird, this entire archetype cycle. It's very cyclical. And then considering Gen Z artists is like... I don't know. I don't understand. But that doesn't mean they're not actually artists. Just because I don't understand an art style doesn't mean it's not a legitimate art style. That's something a boomer would never say.
Machine their parents built for them. And the biggest of these norms is male leadership.
Background noise says I'm more of an anti-hero. I could see that myself being an anti-hero, right? I just don't have a cause.
Yep.
I'm a rebel without a cause.
Guessed it.
I made myself cringe.
Roaring back.
I made myself cringe.
Back with a vengeance, and all that boiling resentment from the last decade finally explodes. Now, my people, Christians, begin to notice feminism. But
John's cat says, "Are you cool with me living with you until I die, John?" The cat? She must be on her phone. Yeah, that's fine. She's pretty old now.
Because they unconsciously accept the feminist premise that your power is your work.
I don't expect my cat to get a job. You know, she's just a cat. She doesn't really do anything. She kills stuff. She doesn't really do anything, though.
Many begin to soften or remove teachings on male headship to make Christianity more palatable to...
Oh, good. Because that's what religion needs. It needs to be more palatable. We need to start changing religion around because people just didn't like it, you know? They wanted more female leadership. They wanted more gay people in the church. So we had to change it around, you know, to make it more hip. Well, that was a disaster, wasn't it? That was a complete disaster.
The feminist worldview.
Way to go, fucktards.
They don't seem to realize that, for one, they're basically saying that God made a mistake. And two, they're reinforcing the premise that you need something more than just to bear God's image or be his child to be satisfied and valuable. Now, there are men and women who push back against this, but since even conservatives fail to spot the feminist premise that your power is your worth, they don't understand why everyone feels like male leadership is demeaning to women in the first place.
Women are retarded. They're just retarded, man. I mean, like, you can't explain things to women because what they feel is reality. What they're feeling in their emotions is reality to them. And so you trying to explain, like, actual, like, what reality consists of, it's never going to make sense. It's just, you might as well be dealing with children. It's pretty close. It's pretty damn close.
They just keep stubbornly saying that men should lead because the Bible says so, and that's that. So they alienate their opponents and...
Ugh. Look at this group. Oh my God. I mean, I guess this one ain't that bad, but like the rest of them, and you can still see these people walking around UC Berkeley, right? They look exactly the same, and then they have their shirts off, but they're still dog-ass ugly.
Lose the battle for people's hearts and minds without understanding why. Let's check in on dating again. How's it going? Well, I mean, the economy is still going strong, home ownership rates are going up, and income is still fairly equal with a strong middle class. So, since average women still have little reason to aim up or move up, relationship and marriage rates continue to stay very high. This little reprieve...
Along with everybody else here. Everyone was high as fuck. And then after the boomers had their good time and then started to have kids, they're all like, you know what? We're going to make drugs illegal. Because we had such a blast that no one else can ever again. And wow, that was a poor decision. That was because it gave rise to like cartels and then, you know, people like killing themselves that was a bad decision. But the boomers made many bad decisions. And the sad thing is they probably will die off before the consequences will percolate through society properly, right? They're never going to have to answer for their crimes or really understand what they did, right? They're just happy that they're millionaires and they're going to go out on top, right? Thinking they're the hardest working geniuses ever. Well, okie dokie. All right. And just leave the mess for the rest of us. I mean, obviously things are getting pretty rough now. And I would say the majority of the boomers only have 10 to 15 years left. The vast majority, right? There's going to be some stragglers that live on very long. But I would say 10 to 15 years is generous. Honestly, I'd lean closer to 5 to 10 for the majority of boomers. For the majority. But there's going to be stragglers. And, like, the last one is probably going to die in, like, a long time from now. A long time from now.
From hypergamy allows everyone to believe that it doesn't exist anymore, which is a huge relief as far as they're concerned. Nobody wants...
That dude in the green shirt is a narc man. Yep, spotted him. It's like fucking watching It's like, where's Waldo, dude? Yeah, I see the Fed. He's right there. He's right there. That's pretty easy.
To believe it anymore anyway.
Hypergamy is a very uncomfortable discussion.
And not just for women who don't like how it...
Why is that that's natural. That's very natural. It's not uncomfortable. What is uncomfortable about that, Joe Rogan? Is your wife going to get mad because you actually tell her some basic facts about her biology? Well, she's retarded. Who cares? You're going to get mad. You just give them a snack and then let them listen to some music or take a nap or something like that, and they'll forget all about it. You know?
Makes them look, men don't want to believe it either, partly because of how they were raised. See, at this point, boys no longer enter the world of men at 8 to 12 years old. It's now in their late teens to early 20s.
NNN says his wife is going to get mad because he cheats on her Shiboon ass. She's not black, is she? She's not black. Bill Burr's wife is black. And oh my God, she is hideous. And I heard she's actually just terrible to be around too.
If ever. This teaches them to...
I forget what her name is. It's like Narnia or something.
Seek the approval of women. Because for their whole formative life, women are the approval givers.
Wait, she is black? Joe Rogan's wife is black? Hold on, I have to look this up. She's not black. No, she's not black. She white. She white. She white. She looks pretty good in this picture, too. That's not Joe Rogan. This was the inspiration for Shrek, though. And like this chick was actually pretty, but I mean, imagine the hog on that guy. Probably a big, meaty fucking deli salami. So good for her.
Then when these guys grow up, they bring this approval seeking into their relationships. And it does two things. It makes guys desperately want to believe that women are transcendent, angelic beings.
Have you guys been hit my Ko-Fi? Do you guys know I have a Ko-Fi? It's right here. I have it. Let's see if I can get the link. Yeah. Hold on. How do I share that? Ko-Fi. Yeah, there we go. Copy. Just in case anybody wants to hit my Ko-Fi. It's also on my Twitter at SulkStreamOFF if you guys want to hit my Ko-Fi. Or buy a shirt or something.
Because if a...
Not saying you have to, but Jess was wearing it at date night when we went out to Father's Day. It's a good looking shirt.
Goddess or an angel were to swoop down and choose him,
hello, Knob,
a mere mortal, that would make him...
How are you tonight? I hope you're good. Hope you're driving safely.
Feel incredible about himself. It feels so much better than if a normal human woman were to choose him. The other thing it does is it makes guys want to believe that
Esmeralda, even though she's a gypsy, she could get it.
Women choose men romantically, not practically. Because if
it's true.
She wants me unconditionally, exactly as I am, then that validates me as a person. But if she's attracted to me for what I have or what I can do, well, those are external things. That's not me. That doesn't validate me as a person. This, of course.
I'm fine with all of this. Look, it's a package deal, right? Just because of like, if somebody wants me for the things I have or the things I can do for them, instead of just raw meat, I understand that. It is a package deal. Like, if I'm not dating a chick with kids because it's a package deal. I don't want some other guy's kids. You know, it's a package deal. It doesn't, loving you for you is great. And that's sweet and that's romantic and all that. But it's a package deal. It's the whole thing, the whole enchilada, right? When you're trying to establish a long-term relationship with somebody, there is a lot of boxes you need to tick. You know what I mean? They're like, you need to be able to financially support me and, so have a house where we can like raise kids and stuff. That's acceptable, right? I'm not going to be hurt by like, oh, what if we lived in a shoebox? No, she wouldn't be interested, bro. She might say that. That is not true. That is not fucking true, right? Just like when a girl asks, would you still love me if I'm a worm? You always say yes, even though that's nonsense. That is pure nonsense. Of course. And it's okay to lie to women. It is. They're not, they're not all there. So it's okay to lie to They lie to us. It is a package deal. Okay? No, I will not love you if you're a worm, but I'm going to tell you I will. Right? Because she wants to have this imaginary romantic thing in her head, and I'll let her have that, right? Just like when she says, I'll still love you if we live in a shoebox. And I'm like, you're lying. I know you're fucking lying, but I'm going to let you have it. I'm going to let you have it because I'm not retarded.
Of course, means guys now hate the idea of hypergamy. So now that there's a
I don't hate it whatsoever. I don't hate it. What? Okay, look. It's fair. Okay. It is natural for women to be hypergamous. For me to hate that would mean I naturally hate women. And on some level, that's true. But that doesn't mean... Hi, honey. I knew she was here. Hey, babe. You look great. What?
I do love you.
I know you love me. I know you love me.
You're so annoying.
You'd love me if we lived in a box, right? Right? Yeah.
I know this is a bit.
It's not a bit. I love you. It's a bit.
Level playing field between men. Guys take the opportunity to forget.
She hates it when I fuck with her. It's so funny.
Forget about it. And they replace it with a romantic fantasy where
Hey,
women
Spondy. Hey, man. How you been? It's good seeing you. I'm glad here.
are angelic creatures of light.
How's Australia?
Who swoop down from the heavens, and they choose men based on a rush of warm, fuzzy feelings that the universe,
I'll tell her you said hi. She left.
or God, sends to her when the time is right. And that it has nothing to do with his traits, his status, or what he brings to the table practically. This fantasy is so intoxicating, it gives women a huge amount of emotional leverage over these men.
And what is the worst thing to give women? Leverage. Any type of, especially emotional leverage, right? But leverage in general, women don't know how to control that. It makes them uncomfortable to have any sort of power. They might say they want power. They say this, right? But in reality, they want no responsibility whatsoever. If something goes wrong, it's not their fault, right? They want zero responsibility, and everything has to be someone else's, because with power comes accountability, right? And they say they want power, but they really don't want any real accountability. This is why there will never be a woman president, right? Like, it's just, they can't take accountability for anything. I don't know what it is, but it is honestly astonishing to watch. Even though, like, when it is a woman's fault, and then it is unquestionably a woman's fault, that you still will refuse to accept any sort of accountability. It is amazing. It's amazing to watch. And don't be like, oh, this is just John and Jess. It's not. It is not. It is all women. It is every woman I have ever met or talked to or seen at a distance. For some reason, accountability is just kryptonite to them. Are we supposed to hate that? Are we supposed to be mad about that? No. No, don't be mad about that. That's like being mad at ants for making anthills, right? It's just something you have to work with. It's just something you have to respond to. This isn't something to be mad about or like judge them on their character, because they're kind of automatons. They all react to emotional triggers, and this is just what you have to do to work them. Women are very easy. They're very easy. When you know the right buttons to push and the right triggers to pull, you can guide them very easily. You can mess with their heads and stuff. It's so simple. I don't know why guys have such an issue with women, because they're pretty basic. They're pretty basic, right? No woman is very complicated. We like to make jokes about how women are so complicated, but they're not. They're just emotional creatures. They like to feel safe. They like to not have any real responsibilities, and they like to have a good time, and that's it. They like babies and stuff. That's it. So just make her feel safe financially, physically, emotionally, and then that's it. The rest of it you can ignore. Don't let her know you're ignoring her, right? But you can pretend like you're listening and stuff. But I mean, don't like really take it into account, because it doesn't mean anything. It's just nonsense. As long as you have her bases covered, she's happy. She might be tired or hungry or something like that in the moment, and then you have to respond to that accordingly. It's not that complicated. It's really not that complicated. Never, ever give them power. Never, ever give them responsibility. Never, ever... I mean, you can gas her up and, and this is what I say. Women are the better of the two sexes. Hey, honey. Hi. Spondy says hi, and so does Pamunkey.
Because if she were to ever say, I don't know, withhold her approval or shame him, he would fold faster than a modern church pew. But that would never happen, would it? The new level playing field for men also allows them to believe that sexual liberation would have no consequences. See, enough men were getting the commitment-free sex they...
Critical Thought says, and like a kung fu master, your strength lies in the ability to practice restraint with it. Yeah, no, she's right. Yeah, I mean... You can't respond. I mean, I understand that's difficult because, I mean, I'll have limited patience too. I have a lot of patience. I am very, very patient. But it is still limited. I am a human being, right? If it gets tested too much, I'll yell, right? And I hate yelling. I never yell. But, like, if I'm yelling, I'm mad. Jess yells a lot. But it's not... this is just because that's her go-to. Like, this is just, if she's a little tired or a little grumpy or a little hungry, this is just her go-to. And it doesn't mean anything. It's just, you have to practice restraint. You have to understand that they don't understand what's going on. And then you have to be a man. That's just it. You have to just be a man. You have to be rock solid. You have to be, that's unmovable. It's simple. It really is simple. But the issue with dating these days is women don't feel safe with men because it's very difficult to make a living, buy a house, right? That's a main safety thing. They're always seeing stories and stuff on Instagram and like wherever about men doing terrible things, which is, I mean, like getting hit by lightning twice while being eaten by a shark. It's very rare, but they don't see that as rare. They see it as common since they see it on their phone so much. There's other things with like them being hypergamous. It's very easy for women to get a job because legally companies have to have at least 50% women once they reach a certain size, right? So they have to hire women, right? So it's very simple for them to get a job. And a high-paying job, too, because there's also other laws that say you have to pay half of your workforce, so they really don't have to do much a lot of the time. Get like six-figure salaries. And they always have to date up, right? This is orchestrated, by the way. This isn't an accident. This is a depopulation agenda. It was all orchestrated from the get-go to reduce the population. People who are running the simulation understand that women have certain nature about them and they're hijacking that. This is the problem. This is the issue.
wanted that it made sense to convince themselves there would be no future consequences for deleting the cultural values of chastity, fidelity, and loyalty from women's psyche, or their own for that matter.
Yeah. It's okay to be a slut these days. And that's a shame because it kills women's souls, right? And like, there's two sides of the coins, right? I mean, like, men don't find it bad sleeping around, right? And women, it's bad for women to sleep around, but women still sleep around all the time. And men shouldn't go around fucking everything that they see. I understand this. I do, but it's obviously tempting to do that. If you're a young man and you're full of fucking jizz and stuff like that, you want to spread that around. It's encouraged. It shouldn't be encouraged. It should not be encouraged. It should be looked down upon just like the women. We should bring chastity back into society. Me saying that is not going to do anything, but it would be better if we did.
In fact, most people still think all this freedom will improve their quality of life. Check back
It does not.
Later to see if it actually does. Some final notes before we leave the 60s. This is a quote from the University of Michigan. In 1968, Paul R. Ehrlich published an extremely influential book, The Population Bomb, which warned of a future filled with starvation and environmental disasters directly associated with overpopulation. Young people concerned about the environment, especially women, were deeply influenced by Ehrlich. You'll also notice a good number of elites like Bill Gates.
Thought says, how many of these incel YouTubers are out there? They do themselves a great service becoming gay and fucking each other. Oh, thought. You have some sort of vendetta against incels, and I feel like that's undeserved. Because incels, they're not trying to hurt anybody. They just can't get laid. And a lot of them aren't as see, they were born in the wrong year. If they were born in like 1960, it would have been... Incels really wasn't a big thing because everyone was getting laid. But now only the top, let's say, 20, 30, maybe even 40% of men are actually able to get laid, even though that would be a little high. I would say probably closer to 20 or 30%. And so a large amount of men, very reasonable men, cannot get laid, even by their social counterparts, right? The equals that they see, because the grossest woman does not want to be with her social equal, right? She wants to be with a top 10, 20%er, like all women, right? And so this is how you get like Tinder harems forming and stuff. And this is also how you get incels. So it's not working out for anybody. Women should bang somebody like at least closer to them. But they all think they're so pretty, right? And this is also partially women's fault because women gas each other up all the time and say, you're so pretty, you deserve better. She's not pretty. She doesn't deserve better, right? Aim low. You will be happy if you aim low. Now, they see people on Instagram, and that's not real life. That's not real life. That's idealized versions of life. And they aspire to this, right? But it is out of your reach. It is out of your reach. And if you keep doing this, you're going to fuck your life up. And it happens time after time. I can't even tell you how many times I've seen it happen. Time after time, a woman will leave a good, solid, dependable man because she thinks she can do better. You can't. And I've seen a lot of guys who are good, solid, dependable guys that no woman will give them a chance because they're not the tops. The tippy tops. Even the most ogreish, gross fucking thing would not give them a chance. Yeah. The entire market is just fucked up now. It's just broken.
And the WEF were also influenced by this book. Why is that important? Well, let's move on to the 70s, see how this plays out. environmentalism.
It's okay, but Christian says whores don't care about virtue. Well, that would be the definition of a whore. Yeah. And I would argue that women aren't born whores. They are culturally pushed and prodded in that direction throughout their formative years. I think we need to rein that in, but a lot of culture comes from Hollywood. A lot of culture comes from Silicon Valley. You know the problems. We do. We need to reel it in, but how?
Begins its rise to popularity. What does this have to do with dating? Well, thanks to the population bomb, people now believe there are too many humans. And
there's not too many humans, obviously. That has always been a lie. That has always been a lie. And when I say that's always been a lie, I don't mean that they just made a mistake and they thought there was going to be way more humans. No, they knew that was not true, and they lied to people. Intentionally lied to people to reduce the population anyway.
And that we should prioritize the planet over people. This logically leads to one place: get rid of the humans and stop them from having babies. Now, since dating and marriage leads to babies, it makes sense that some people...
Easy divorce? Does that say easy divorce? Thank you, Reagan, for your no-fault bullshit. I can't even tell you how many of my friends had fucking single moms that were just like, go out and get drunk and get nailed by strangers, dude. It's sad. It is sad. It's so easy just to be like, I just didn't want to do it anymore. Well, you have kids. You should do it. You should continue to do it. You should fucking buck up and actually pull it off. Because really, almost every divorce I've ever seen has been from a temporary issue. A temporary kind of, bump in the road type of issue that could have been over in a matter of months, right? But then you get lawyers involved and things start to snowball very quickly because lawyers have dollar signs in their eyes and they see little kids as bags of money, right? And boy, a lot of money goes through the family court system. It's honestly disgusting. It's honestly disgusting.
Won't want dating and marriage to go smoothly anymore. Now, complete coincidence, no-fault divorce laws are passed for the first time in California by none other...
James Cambo says, legacy intact. Thanks, Reagan. Yeah, thanks, dickhead Reagan.
Than our Republican...
You fucked up a lot of things. I don't get machine guns because of that asshole.
Republican Lord and Savior, Governor Ronald Reagan himself. Divorce rates immediately skyrocket, with women doing most of the leaving. Whoops. Now, this will be justified by...
I think it's 80 or 90% of divorces are initiated by women. And it's not because, it's just, men are just bad. And so, no, it's not. They turn.
They just turn. These are all abused women finally being liberated.
Abused and liberated from the yoke that is marriage and stuff. And so now they can spread their legs and live the free life. Wow. That has destroyed so many lives of not only the women who perpetrated it, but also their children, which is, you ever see a kid divorced? They're not okay. They are not okay, dude. They're fucking darkened. It's sad. They are darkened. It is a major part of their life. Right? Being a child of divorce is it's just like saying you're a child of poverty or something. It is a major black mark on your life. Because your parents, and they're still your parents, they're constantly fighting. You're going from house to house. You kind of don't live anywhere. It's sad. It's sad. It's really, and it all goes back to no-fault divorce, right? And also making divorce a profitable enterprise for women. When you break a legal contract, when you are incentivized to break a legal contract, what are you going to do? You're going to do that. And a lot of these women say, I don't have to deal with this asshole anymore. And then I get tons of money for not doing anything, not working. I just get everything and then I can do what I want and fuck who I please with no consequences whatsoever. Yes, please. And then they will turn dark. Women will turn dark. This, again, is no accident. This is hijacking women's behavior to reduce the population.
From their tyrant husbands. But again, the data doesn't support this. However, these new divorce laws give distinct monetary advantages to women, essentially meaning it's now profitable for women to break the marriage contract. The government also takes a cut of all alimony and child support payments, so it...
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. The lawyers are making money. The court systems are making money. The government's making money. Ooh, yeah. Why not pump up those divorce numbers? Why not? With so much money at play, why not? Oh, it's so good. It's so good. The only people who really lose out are the children. Well, and the family unit. The men lose out, the women lose out, and the children lose out most of all. The divorce lawyers make out like bandits. The government makes out like a bandit. The courts make out like a bandit. There's really very little reason to not have such a high incentive to divorce, right? It is too good. It causes too much sweet, sweet destruction in society not to push it.
Has a permanent incentive to never fix the problem. On the bright side, marriage rates are still relatively high at the moment, largely because dating still works. It's easy-ish. Most men have no idea why it's easy, though. They just sort of assume, well, that's just how it works, right? Men like women.
People think you're crazy when you say you're getting married, too. As a millennial, it's like, why are you getting married? That's crazy. Well, I did it. Look, huh? See? What's it been? 7 years? Something like that?
Unlike men, and they get together and it works. It just happens, right? What they don't realize is that they're still riding a wave of wealth and old cultural norms. They haven't destroyed all of them just yet. They are working on it, though. Around this time, the women who led the rebel charge against...
It's okay to be Christian says, I love my dumb wife. Yeah, your fat dumb wife. Yeah.
Men are now...
You gotta keep her down, right? You gotta keep her... You gotta clip those wings lest she fly too close to the sun.
Settling into married life with men.
Yeah, girls will gas each other up and be like, girl, you don't need him. You can do better. And men will be like, hold your horses there, Seabiscuit. All right? Because we have a better handle on reality. We just do. And women will lie to each other and sabotage each other intentionally. My wife does not go to female hairstylists because she's too pretty. And if she's too pretty, they will intentionally sabotage her hair. So only gay men.
And it's a zesty combo. See, in pre-modern times, it was wise for you as a woman to respect your husband because you depended on him for protection. But now that men have made the world safe and comfortable, these ladies don't need to respect men anymore. And it shows. Many are still bitter and resentful, and they've been trained to believe
men will never be free until women are free. I don't know. Equal education and job opportunities.
That restraining any of their feelings is repression. So women are becoming more aggressive and volatile with men.
North Carolina, Thought says North Carolina makes people take a year's separation before divorce, which I think is fair. You should be punished for lying about vows and giving up and costing everyone money and time. Oh, yeah, that's fair. And she goes on to say, and 20% of people end up staying together after it. Well, that's positive. I mean, 20%. I would kind of expect it to be higher than that. But again, there's a lot of incentives. There's a lot of money at play. Right? But at least there's 20%.
And thanks to the nuclear threat of divorce, there's not much men can do about it. In short, wives are on the warpath, and guys can't stop them. So they react the only way they can. They play possum. Men realize the only safe response is to be passive. Just stay out of her way and let the woman run your house and your life how she wants. This is a generation who made phrases like, yes, dear, go along to get along, the woman is always right, happy wife, happy life, and gotta check with the boss so popular that we now treat them like they're in the Bible. Now, this response from men is a major...
Gotta check with the boss. Gotta check with the boss. Never said that. Never said anything like that. Nope. I mean, I do check with my wife to see if, like, because she handles the scheduling. Sometimes she's like, oh, no, we have a birthday party to go on that day. I'm like, oh, okay, fuck. Because I don't, like, we do have social obligations, right? It's not like I always want to go, but they are social obligations for a reason. Building a community is actually very important. And, like, to blow off social obligations is not a good idea for any man. It just isn't. And honestly, it also helps your career, too. So keep that in mind next time you want to go and not go to a fucking child's birthday party. Because I understand that.
Tactical blunder. See, what they don't realize is they're essentially trading long-term respect and attraction for short-term peace. Because
you get no peace. You get no what? Short-term peace? Short-term peace. Okay. That's so fucking stupid, dude. I don't do anything like that. I don't. No. I don't do any of that shit. If anything, I'll stir the pot on purpose just because I'm bored.
Because women might enjoy the power they have over these passive...
Again, never give them power. Never give women any power. They hate it. They might think they like it. They hate it. They hate that shit with all their might, dude. All their passion that they can muster. They hate power. They don't say that. They don't say that, but they do. They hate it. They hate power. They hate responsibility. They hate anything being their fault, right? Do not give them anything like that.
Domesticated half men, but they don't find it respectable. And they begin to push and test men even more, looking for some kind of bedrock of strength in him that they can rely on, while finding that strength less and less.
You guys know pushover men. I mean, you guys have seen pushover. I've seen pushover men, right? And it's just... And it always ends up in divorce. It just always ends up in divorce because she loses absolutely all respect for him. All respect for him. And it's just so painful to see, right? When a guy just bends over back. Ugh. It's disgusting. It really is disgusting. I mean, it's disgusting for me to watch. How do you think it makes her feel? Right? Yuck. That's gross. She will test you. She will shit test you. Okay, go ahead. I'm not gonna... Whatever. No. This is my house. The paychecks come to me. You don't even have a fucking job. Come on. It's ridiculous.
For now, men are still insulated by wealth and social norms just enough that they don't feel it too bad yet. But like a band-aid on a chainsaw wound, that's not gonna hold for long. And it means boys now grow up watching their dads lie through their teeth to protect the peace in the household. And so...
I lie, but not to protect the peace. Sometimes just to stir the pot.
Boys are taught that it's always right to lie to women to protect their feelings. This new passive, nice guy approach...
Well, here's the thing. You do want to protect their feelings, right? Until it becomes an issue, or you get annoyed, or you're tired, or something like that. Like, protecting... It's not giving up power to them. This is the entire issue. You should not give up power to your wife. You shouldn't give up power to any woman. But, I mean, don't give up power to your wife, obviously. Again, she hates it. And eventually, she'll hate you for it. It's a very clear, definite rule. That is a rock solid rule. Don't give them power. Don't.
Also teaches young guys a complete lie about what women are attracted to. Today, we call it the blue pill. And it has...
Again, I've seen so many guys, and a lot of women treat them as placeholder boyfriends. I've seen this too. I've seen the placeholder boyfriend, where she's just with somebody until somebody better comes along because she doesn't actually like him. I don't think that's a very good thing. That's not a very nice thing. But I mean, you can tell when that is the case. You can definitely tell when that's the case. It is pretty common too.
3 main parts. The first 2 are already in place. The belief that women are transcendent angels, and that women choose men romantically. Now they add...
Women are demons. Come on. They are. They're demons. They're half-formed men that make irrational decisions and just kind of run around screaming and stuff like that. You kind of have to like douse them with like water just to... Angels descended from heaven. No. No. Don't you ever think that. No, because they'll rip your soul out of your fucking ass. They will, dude. No, dude. No.
The third piece. The belief that...
I love my wife to death, but I ain't fucking stupid. Come on. Angels from heaven. Yeah, okay.
Women want nice guys. Now, this does come partly from...
D-Ball Money says they run around screaming. Yeah, yes they do, dude. You ever watch one of those feminist marches or anything like that? They literally run around screaming. Like maniacs. Yeah. Because they are. They're all maniacs. The best of them. The best of them are maniacs. Honestly, and I kind of like that. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I like them a bit crazy. John's kind of an adrenaline junkie, okay? I like me crazy women. All right? They're fun. They're a lot of fun, right? They can be a handful. Sure. But if you know how to tame the wild beast, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Maybe, and honestly, I'm probably the same way because a lot of people think I'm crazy. Me? Who would think I'm crazy? I'm not crazy.
Guys who are raised by their moms
besides
to
my
be
parents.
Nice, so it makes sense to them that women would want a nice guy.
Hey, Goofy
But
Boots. And Hog Dog, how you guys doing?
These guys have been watching their dads too.
Goofy Boots until they stab and kill you. Yeah. Women are landmines, dude, and you really have to know how to diffuse them before you start messing with them, right? Some of them are a little bit less finicky than others, right? But they all have the capability of exploding and destroying your life.
And since their dads have been playing possum to keep their moms happy,
sometimes, like me personally, I like to juggle. That doesn't mean I like him crazy. I love you, crazy. She fucking crazy, though.
Guys now think the way to a woman's heart is to appease her and do whatever she says.
Ew.
Guys start to believe...
Ew. She's kind of cute, though. Look at that. She's kind of cute. But yeah, that is not the way to do it.
If you make yourself as harmless, docile, and soft edge as possible, anticipate all her wants and needs while you pretend to be needless and wantless yourself, and generally just be a really...
fucking walk all over you. That's what it is walking all over you. I've seen it time and time again. Men just have no spines because they have like, oh, well, this is the first girl who actually lets me touch her and stuff like that. And you have no fucking spine, dude. And she'll break you in half. And every time she cracks your back, she just gets more and more disgusted with you because you're just flimsy and gross, dude. I'm not saying you should hit a woman, but make her feel like you're going to do it. All right? She'll respect that. She'll get a little moist between the legs, right? Just for that little bit of fear, right? Not like, but like a little bit, just a little bit.
Be nice guy. Then woman will be.
Not saying you should actually do it, but like, scare her a little bit.
To you, they'll respect you, and things.
Just to put her back in line, just to put her back in her place, she'll respect you more for it.
Smoothly for you. Now, the blue pill is fully armed and operational. And since dating is still pretty easy.
Why do you think that women say, oh, would you rather be in the woods with a man or a bear? It's because men are fucking pussies these days. Men are fucking pussies. And at least the bear will kill her. And she, on some weird level, respects that. Right? It's not because she wants to feel safe. She wants to feel an element of danger. Right? She wants to do shit like that. Right? She wants to think that she can tame the bear. You have to be the bear.
Easy, because things are still fairly equal among men. All this seems to work just fine. But
she likes this idea, right? That she tamed the bear. That's the whole thing. She wants you to be dangerous, and she wants to be the one to tame you, right? Be dangerous. Don't let her tame you. But let her think she can.
If the immense bubble of wealth protecting this generation were ever to burst,
Chaos says, yeah, the bear will give her attention. I'll just ignore her. I mean, it must be easier for the bear because they don't speak English, so they don't understand. But oh my God, the opinions coming out of this thing is retarded. That's what the bear would think if he spoke English.
It'd cause a few
wow, that is a terrible take. The bear.
Problems for somebody. Oh. Skipping ahead to the 80s. Things are starting to look a little masculine. Women notice.
Oh my God. That is the epitome of androgyny. Right there. That right there. Ugh. Go away. Go away. Ugh. I'd pepper spray you if I could. Tink, tink, tink. Snap. I go through a 6-pack of them.
Notice that our culture idolizes powerful men, so they try to become like men.
It's Ms. Kennedy, and why can't you be my executive secretary?
Shut your fucking mouth, Ms. Kennedy. Kennedy. Ms. Kennedy. Ms. Kennedy. I would be like, oh, ew. 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 When I was in school as a kid, I was taught the whole Mrs. thing. And I don't think I've ever once in my life used it. I've never called any woman Ms. No. Nope. No, I don't think I have. It's just not in my vernacular. I'm usually like, shut up, cunt. I don't use that very often. But when I go to the bank and stuff, yeah.
Secretary.
What they don't realize is this is actually degrading to women. Instead of elevating femininity, the very essence of the woman, they make the essence of the man the thing to aspire to.
Based. Honestly, based. Fucking based. Yeah. So being a woman is such a terrible thing that you shouldn't want to be a woman. You should want to be like a man because you're so inferior. And the problem is that is true, but it's not like it's not necessary, right? It is necessary to have a feminine energy in society, in the family structure, in the family unit. Yes, these are vital, right? So it's not like one is less necessary, but I could see, I don't want to be a woman. I'm not volunteering, right? No, thank you. But I can see how it's necessary in society and the family structure. So, that is your role. Embrace it with all you have. Please do that. Please do that. Really, honestly. Because I don't want to look at masculine women. It really, really upsets me. It upsets me, dude. It upsets me. I mean, I don't look at them a lot, but I do get a sense of them. And then I'm like, ugh. Worse than feminine men. It is worse than feminine men. I think feminine men are silly, but I am repulsed by masculine women. Repulsed by it.
In other words, they're saying to each other, ladies, you should become a man because men are better than women. Whoops. Turns out friendly fire is on for this match. The effects of the population bomb start to creep into the mainstream. Married mothers come...
See, look at that. See? My wife does this stuff. She's got her kids. She's fucking reading a book or something like that. She loves it. She sits in the bed with her kids and stuff. She's fucking happy as a clam. And a lot of women have been sold the lie of I'm going to go chase my career and make a ton of money and live Sex in the City and have my big inner city apartment and then everyone's going to respect me. Mm-hmm. You're stupid. You're fucking stupid. You could have been chilling in your fucking pajamas every single day with little kids running around being like, Mommy, we love you. Mommy, we love you. Nope. Not now. You pissed away your 20s fucking getting railed by randos. And you probably have herpes by now, honestly. And now no one wants you because you're just a husk. You're an empty egg carton. Right? Look, I'm being harsh. I really am. But it's true. This is all true. You got sold a lie. And you fucking bought it. You fucking bought it and charged it to credit. It's a damn shame. It is an absolute damn shame. But I can definitely see how society is turning back on it, right? They're pushing away these societal norms of you know what? Maybe I don't want to fucking be a doctor. Maybe I don't want to go to school until I'm 35 years old and then decide I want to be a stay-at-home mom. Good. Do that. Follow your instincts. Be the person you were meant to be. Right? Women have to fight against their base instincts to follow these societal norms that we've made them adhere to these days through movies and music and fucking nonsense TV shows. Right? And it's been nothing but bad for all of them. And now they're running around with their fucking shirts off on slut walks, screaming at the top of their lungs. And we're supposed to be like, this society isn't fucking, we're doing okay. We're doing okay. Fucking women flashing their fucking cooters the moment they turn 18 just so they can have a fucking, I don't know, Porsche or something. This is not okay. This is not okay. None of this is okay. You know what is okay? This is okay. This is great. This is exactly what she's supposed to be doing. She is happy. She's in her element. Don't push back against that. Any young women who watch this show, please do what feels right to you. Don't listen to those people. Don't fucking put a thing in your goddamn nose and then run around and being like, I'm a fucking bisexual. Don't fucking do that. There's enough chicks out there like that. Right? Do what feels right for you. Stay at home with your kids. And don't tell me that doesn't feel right. Because, my wife seems pretty happy. That's all I'm saying. I don't make her go out of the house every day. I don't make her fucking put on a pair of pants and then go fucking work at Amazon or some shit. No, she's fine. She can stay in her pajamas all day long. She does often. She does. And then she just cooks breakfast and makes coffees and stuff. Seems like a pretty sweet gig. Sure, she's got to deal with me sometimes. And I can be a nightmare. I can. I could be a little unhinged from time to time. But would you rather deal with me or a boss? It looks like a sweet gig. I'm just saying.
Under attack for being regressive in mainstream media. See, by this point, romance isn't just the way that relationships are chosen, it's now the entire purpose. Kids are...
Hogdog says, my firstborn is 20, my second is 11. The shit's cool as fuck being a dad. I like being a dad. I'm a great dad. My kids love me. I plan on having several more. People are like, why would you do that? Because fuck you. That's why. That's why. Because fuck you. I can't.
Are now seen as an unfortunate byproduct of romance.
Knob says, dealing with Bahama John must be a nightmare. And yet you return every night.
And a signal that the authentic phase of the relationship has ended. You can see this in the way that parents are portrayed as being sick of each other and resentful of their...
D-Ball Money says, my friend's wife was miserable as a stay-at-home mom. That's probably your friend's fault. It's probably your friend's fault.
Kids. The hard-fought prosperity built by the greatest generation is beginning to crumble at this point.
D-Ball Money says, we have one and staying at one. Well, you do you. That's fine. I'm not saying you should. Look, dude, if you have one and like that, then you do you. I'm just going to have like a bunch of them. Or as many as we can.
Life starts to get more expensive. The majority of men are still able to provide a decent middle-class lifestyle for a woman, though. So dating still works for most men, but some...
Creative Thought says, you can be a mother and work. 74% of women with children do. Yeah, my wife doesn't have to, though.
Cracks are beginning to form. Income levels are starting.
So she doesn't. I'm not keeping her from getting a job. I just said you don't have to. And honestly, if she came to me and be like, I want a job, I'd be like, what? Why? I would laugh in her face. And I'd be like, go for it. I'd be like, that's a stupid, stupid decision. But okay, go ahead. And I don't think she would enjoy that at all.
Starting to spread out. So the equality that had been keeping...
Hogdog says, my wife works full-time. Her choice. She's a nurse. And you only have... Okay. Okay. I'm not saying if she doesn't want to do that. I mean, if that's her choice, that's her choice, dude. What do you want out of me? My wife has the same choice. I think it would be a silly choice, but she's still technically, she's not my slave. Well, I don't know. I'd be like, no, I kind of need you around here to bring me like coffees and stuff. And yeah, so permission denied. Yeah. Yeah, if she wanted a job, I think I might actively say no. Now that I'm actually thinking about it, if she came to me sincerely and said, I want... Yeah, no. Yeah, no.
Hypergamy dormant is starting...
Sorry, I have use for you here, right? There is laundry, and there's, like, childcare, and, like, you have to nurse and stuff. Like, come on. You can't do that. I can't nurse. And you don't want me to bottle feed.
To go
She doesn't. I wouldn't like doing that. I mean, not that I would have a problem with doing it. We're breastfeeders. And my nipples are not big enough. There's the bell. Dan Snot for $5 says, for the outro. Okay. Sure, why not? I will put this right yonder. Smut peddler. Okay, well, sure. Well, you gave $5. I'll do it.
Marriage rates start to go down.
Hit the like button, by the way, you guys. I would appreciate that. If you are here or where you happen to be on Twitter or YouTube, please hit the like button.
While divorce rates hit an all-time peak. At the same time, more comfortable jobs that women...
Lost Chaos says, we get John the man milker prosthetic. Does it come with a gun holster?
Women find desirable exists than ever. before, and women are encouraged to get into the workforce as much as possible. Unlike in pre-modern times, though, this isn't meant to be collaborative work. Women are told to do this entirely for themselves. At this point, women truly don't need men to survive anymore. So, naturally, sex and emotions become the primary leverage in relationships. And since men typically want sex more than women,
oh my God, that is a deep rabbit hole. That's what he says the first time he sleeps with her.
women hold more power in most relationships by default.
Men want sex. Women don't necessarily want sex, but look, it's far easier for women to get sex than it is for men. It's just a million times easier. And like, look, that's a fact, right? And so women oftentimes can control relationships just for the fact that they can provide sex that a lot of men don't have ready access to, right? And this makes you extremely unattractive, right? Women want guys with options. If you're bending over backwards for her, it means you have no options. This makes you completely unattractive.
This also frees women up to weaponize shame as a shock collar to keep men in line without...
Shame? Shame? Shame. 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 What? Do I have shame? Do I have shame? Do I? No, I don't. I don't have any shame.
Without any consequences. Oh yeah, and our favorite lie from the 60s, that feelings matter more than truth, is starting to have another effect. See, people now believe that if you upset someone, you are harming them. As you...
Wow, I'm a bad person. I do this for fun. Oh my God, dude. Wow. Wow, dude.
You can probably guess, though, this really only goes one way. Since everyone feels like men bear all this guilt for oppressing women forever, people feel like it's morally justified to treat men like their feelings don't matter.
Knob says, Bahama John, you have a little smudge where your nipple should be. No, it's just a nice tight nip. It's a good manly nip.
It's justice. We're balancing the scales.
That's what it is.
While that same guilt makes everyone feel like women deserve a sort of
That's a good solid
reparations.
Nip. That's a good solid nip. And it's a shame because I was enjoying this, but our time is up. Unfortunately, our time is up, and tis what it is. And we're gonna play a little bit of the Smut Peddlers. Thank you so much for coming, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's show, and I hope you guys took something, you learned something from it, right? Don't bend over for women. That's disgusting. Be a man. Actually grow a fucking set of nuts. I hope you guys have a great night. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's show. If you would like to hit the like button, I would very much appreciate it. If you would like to support me in any way, my Ko-Fi, you can buy a shirt. You could just, figure it out. Send me money if you want. Or at least hit the like button. I would very much appreciate that. Anyways, guys, I will be on Daywave tomorrow. And then right back here on the Sulk stream at 8 p.m. And I hope to see you guys all there. Yeah. Until then, I hope you guys have a great night. Stay strong. Stay proud. Make me proud as your cult leader. That's very important. And until tomorrow, have a great night. Be great. Drink some water. Drink a lot of water. Get a good night's sleep and take care of yourselves because I care about you too. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Love you. Good night.
I'm an incredible soul, unhinged and enraged like a bulldog's fierce growl. I'm spitting fire. burning through these trees, questioning the world, unraveling conspiracies. Talking about Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster too. Government lies, they're feeding me their goo. I'm diving deep into this rabbit hole, uncovering the truth, setting fire to their control. I got small nipples, but my voice is loud, roaring like thunder in this crazy crowd. They say I'm crazy, but I call it woke. Unraveling the madness with every word I spoke.
Sucking each other's head.